Hello, and welcome back to the... Oh my God, I thought there was a bug on the floor. Okay. Hello. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Gabby. If you are old here, hope retirement's going well. Today, we are going to do my favorite romances. Since Valentine's Day was on Wednesday, I thought in the spirit of Valentine's Day and just February being such a lovely and sweet month that we could do my favorite romances that I've read thus far. Before we get into that, like, subscribe, and comment your favorite romance book down below so that I have more to read, because I'm in a terrible reading slump and any recommendations are highly, highly welcome. But starting off, if y'all have been on the channel for a while, you know I'm obsessed with the 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Basically, here's like the short and sweet of it. Clementine, her aunt just passed away. She's moving into her aunt's apartment. Her aunt's apartment can time travel into the past. She meets a man and they fall in love across time. I love it. But what I really love about this book more than anything is that it shows, it kind of almost gives you insight into a long-term relationship, because it shows how they love each other as they both grow as people. So I thought that was really interesting and I really loved it. Ashley Poston's writing style is really quick and easy to read, and just really wonderful. I love everything about this book. So 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Then y'all know I had to shout out Miss Emily Henry. People We Meet on Vacation and Beach Read by Emily Henry. Both of these books have impeccable banter, and that's why I love them. These little tabs here on the side are my banter tabs, and I love them. Both of them kind of deal with grief, but in different ways. This is the literal version of grief, like when you lose somebody that you love, and trying to find yourself after that, and also trying to, almost like if your life was in a slump, but like for years, and you kind of hit rock bottom and you were trying to decide where to go from there. There's Beach Read, and then People We Meet on Vacation is more of grief of self, and like I said, these kind of have the same theme of grief in terms of I'm at the bottom, I don't know where to go, this is an opportunity to reinvent myself, but it's also very scary and very uncertain, and so I really liked both these books for that theme. But like I said, the banter is wonderful. Emily Henry has wonderful, wonderful writing. These are both kind of like summertime books, but you could read them at any time, and if you live in Florida, it's basically summer right now. So Beach Read and People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Then these are my fantasy romance picks. The Cruel Prince trilogy by Holly Black. I am obsessed with Jude and Carden. Obsessed. And I've said this before and I've said it again. This is the first book I've ever read that they are truly, true enemies that turn into lovers. And the same is kind of true of the Dance with Thieves duology, which is why this is my my other fantasy pick. I'll just grab it here. As my other fantasy pick is because in both of these books, number one, they're true enemies. In Dance of Thieves, Kazi and Jade, I believe is his name. I can't remember. Does it say it on the back of the book? Of course it doesn't. If y'all are subscribers, you know I never remember anybody's names. I'm not going to pretend to start now. I want to say his name is Jade. Maybe not. Jace. I think it's Jace. Watch it not be Jace. But Kazi and Jace are enemies to lovers because Kazi is sent by the Queen's Royal Guard to go get something from or find someone from the kingdom that Jace rules. And in Cruel Prince, Carden is the royalty. And he and Jude are like kind of competing for a place in the King's Royal Guard. So both of them are kind of, I didn't realize, clearly I like specific themes in books. But both of these are true enemies to lovers, and I think what I love the most about this is that you see the respect that they develop for the other person, and that they are able to truly see that person for who they are as opposed to what they represent, and kind of the group that they belong to, and all of the preconceived stereotypes and things that they've developed over time don't necessarily fall to the side, but they're able to see the other as more of a complete person. Also, the fight scenes in this duology are so badass. Like, and I don't usually curse on the channel, but like they were so good, and Kazi and Jace are just so cool and talented and like awesome. And in the Cruel Prince trilogy, the politics of this world and just like the very intricate web that they weave to kind of turn this world upside down in terms of politics and war, I just really, really, really appreciate it. And obviously the romance is wonderful. In both of these fantasy books, the romance is a subplot. I will say in Vow of Thieves, which is the second book in the Dance of Thieves duology, the romance is a little bit more of the primary plot. But yeah, I really highly recommend those. And then I have my little post-it note to remind me of 3 others. Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. The FMC has a physical disability, and actually so does the MMC. They both have physical disabilities. The FMC, I believe, only has 1 hand, and the MMC has 1 leg. So they have a romance that's, number one, not only just so gentle and compassionate and just sweet, but I think that it also is a good commentary on like how to overcome just anything in life, and that there are so many things that when you have either a physical disability or just any kind of disadvantage in life, that you kind of place these boundaries and limitations on yourselves, and there's no need to do any of that. And so I think that that was a really just sweet, gentle, loving romance, and it frames that theme and those topics really sensitively, and just it's just so sweet and loving. I loved it. Next is In a New York Minute by Kate Spencer. I really like this book because it explores the theme of finding yourself. It's kind of similar to the Emily Henry books, where it's like you've reached rock bottom, you don't know what to do next in your career, you've kind of considered yourself an underdog. The FMC in this book has. And so she is essentially presented this opportunity to build her dream life. And that's very overwhelming, that's very daunting, it's very difficult. And there's obviously a wonderful romance that plays into that as well. And the MMC is just so supportive. I think it really speaks to introverts and being a little bit anxious, and just he's very particular, and it really just gives you insight into like if you have an introverted friend, like what they're really thinking, and how it's like I feel like sometimes when I'm personally introverted, so I feel like sometimes people think that like I'm not interested or I hate them, and I'm like, he just the author does a very good job of just explaining the 2 dualities of an extrovert and an introvert, and that aspect of the relationship is really interesting as well. So In a New York Minute by Kate Spencer. And then finally, y'all know I could not let a romance recommendations video go by without telling you to read Pride and Prejudice. I didn't pick up my copy because this is actually something I need help from all of you. I am looking for a new edition of Pride and Prejudice. It doesn't need to be new, literally, but like new to me. That is either like botanical, floral, really detailed in some sort of way. I have the Penguin Random House edition, which is great, but it's also like, I believe it just has some random lady on the cover. Like, I would like something that's a little bit more detail oriented and like intentional in its design. So please, 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 if you guys know of any Etsy sellers or booksellers or anything like that that have a really good edition of it, please let me know. Comment it, leave the link, whatever. But Pride and Prejudice, again, it goes with the theme of, which one was I speaking about? Oh, and all of my fantasy romances, where you really have to grow a respect for another person and learn to leave behind all of these preconceived notions and stereotypes that you develop for another group of people, and see a person as who they are. And when you begin to do that, the romance that builds from that, just mutual respect and understanding, is so beautiful. And obviously Pride and Prejudice has the best movie ever, the 2005 version with Keira Knightley, so you can watch that immediately after you read it, and then you can also have like the ability to be like, I read a classic. So of course you have to read Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And that is all I have for y'all today. I tried to make this one short and sweet. Let me know if you have read any of these books and if you like them, if you didn't like them. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you have any recommendations for me, please, 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 please let me know, because I'm always looking for new romances, whether it's a subplot of romance in a fantasy or another type of genre, or the main storyline is romance. Feel free to drop it in the comments down below, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, amazing day, whatever day you're watching this. Bye!